Modding is the lifeblood of Age of Empires 2. There are countless amazing mods out there, so many that you could never hope to play all of them, but I recently had the pleasure of learning more about one that I think deserves an awful lot more attention than it currently has. A mod that asks a simple but potentially controversial question: what if Age of Empires 2, the game we love so dearly, had a healthy dose of StarCraft 2 injected into it? And it is called EMPIRECRAFT. I had the pleasure of speaking with the creator of this mod at length, getting into a lot of fantastic detail with him about his process in creating it, some of the design decisions that he made, and more besides. I'll let him introduce himself to you.
So I am Poner of Souls, or some people know me as Jackster. I'm a modder for Age of Empires 2. I've been doing modding since way back in the CD days, and recently have been getting back into it for DE. It's really the game that got me into modding, and just modding as a hobby. So it's kind of got a special place in my heart.
If you want to hear the full half-hour interview in its totality, there is a link to it in the description down below. I'd highly recommend it. We had a really fantastic conversation, and I'm only going to be able to showcase a small fraction of it here in this video. But I know that mods can be a little intimidating at times. So how the heck do you actually download the EMPIRECRAFT mod, boot it up, and play it? Well, I have for you a quick tutorial created by a friend of mine. Take it away, XX Lava Duder XX69420.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy XX Lava Duder XX69420 here with another tutorial video. Make sure to rate the video 5 stars, like, comment, and favorite it. Here's how you install the EMPIRECRAFT mod. First, you're going to go to the mods section, mosey up on over, hit mods, you're going to go into browse, and you're going to search EMPIRECRAFT. There it is. You're going to click on it, and you hit subscribe right here. Bam. It's going to do some downloading. You're going to make a little happy spinning for a little bit. There we go. Go to installed mods. You're going to go to EMPIRECRAFT and your installed mods. You're going to hit priority up. You don't have to do this, but it helps a little bit if you plan on playing a bunch. From there, you're going to hit back. The game settings should look like this. And there you have it. You want to set the data mod to EMPIRECRAFT. The game mode must be custom scenario. The mod comes with a handful of pre-created balanced maps that you can select from, so make sure you get one of those. The population should be 500, the game speed fast, reveal map should be set at explored. And from there, you can pick your civilization. But what's this? What interesting civilizations we have here. I think we had better dive in and explore some of those, hadn't we?
How did you come to the decisions on what civilizations you wanted to add?
Pretty much it was, do I have some kind of cool, quirky mechanic that I can utilize for this civ? And then can I kind of build around that? The other was, do they have a lot of existing assets that I can use? So I'm not going to go into a civ where it's like I don't have enough stuff in the editor between the existing units to like cobble something together, and it kind of feels like they work, but then like kind of not.
Civilizations in EMPIRECRAFT each represent a very broad strokes bird's eye view of a given region or theme within a roughly medieval time frame and context. This includes specific civilizations like the Franks, larger regional groupings like the Americas, and looser interpretations of medieval establishments such as the Order representing everything from the Teutonic Order to the Knights Templar to the Crusader states. As Poner just mentioned, the decisions on which civilizations to include were based on two major criteria. Firstly, whether he could come up with a unique mechanical quirk for them, and secondly, whether he could find enough existing in-game assets to give them a completely unique tech tree without double-dipping into other civilizations' aesthetics. Some of the unique mechanics he's come up with for these civilizations are really exceptionally cool and creative, a product of him being able to use triggers to implement some of these mechanics via his custom balanced maps in order to enable some processes that simply could not be accomplished through a traditional dataset style mod. Some of my favorite mechanics include the Order, which builds the majority of its units from the town center, the Nomads, who are able to pack up and move around several of their major buildings, and the Byzantines, not pictured here unfortunately, who start the game with a governor with auras able to boost the work rates of citizens and military units respectively, exceptional creativity on display, and a great showcase of just what you can accomplish with triggers if you're clever and dedicated. I'm sure there are hundreds running behind the scenes every time you play. Now, I'm sure you've noticed that these civilizations are not exactly historical. They are very loose amalgamations, and from a historical perspective, some of the combinations and units being kind of blended together on them are kind of ludicrous. However, I don't hate this whatsoever. And you might think to yourself, Robbie, what are you talking about? You're the ultimate history pedant. Why is this not a problem? Well, EMPIRECRAFT does not in any way pretend to be historical. It, in a very self-aware way, rejects the historicity that already exists within Age of Empires in order to streamline gameplay and give each faction a completely unique identity and tech tree. Now, is this how I would personally go about creating a mod placing mechanics over history? No, not at all. But clearly tons of effort was poured into it, and typically my issue with a lack of historicity is because it smacks of laziness, and that is absolutely not something you can say about EMPIRECRAFT. What made you want to bring the feel of StarCraft into Age of Empires, if there was anything beyond just the sheer speed of the game?
A big thing I like about Age of Empires kind of versus StarCraft is, first of all, the theme. You know, instead of having lasers and missiles and all kinds of fantastical stuff, you have stuff that's very kind of real, and you can, at a glance, you really know what stuff does. The other thing I love about it is the amount of additional resources. Kind of what intrigued me about it was, can you still have a very fast-paced game, but also still have this really extremely nuanced economy that you have to balance and manage while all the other craziness is going on?
Now, something I'm sure many people will say to you, it's something that I've heard many times myself. If you want Age of Empires 2 to be different, why not play Age of Empires 4? You've obviously taken some design inspiration from it.
I don't want to change Age of Empires 2. I like Age of Empires 2 the way it is, you know, despite making a mod that seems very, counterintuitive to the way Age of Empires work. It is a little bit more of a slower paced, more chess-like experience, and people enjoy that. I just feel like the Age of Empires 2, first of all, has a better engine, which might seem weird, but I love it. You know, I think it's got a really good engine. There's also just differences of preference. Like, I love the sprite art style of Age of Empires 2 because it's so crisp. Like, when you see a group of cavalry riding by, you know exactly what they are. That's one of the things I didn't like about AoE 4 is you look at it and it's like, you see a mosh pit of units and it's really kind of hard to tell what they are and what's going on. Those are some of the reasons why I chose to mod AoE 2. Plus, I've been modding it a while. And I don't think AoE 2 needs to change. I just think that this would be an interesting experiment to kind of try. I think it's something that they've been trying to experiment with as well with things like Empire Wars, where they're trying to find a format where if you want to have the shorter games, then people can experience that. Maybe this could be kind of like a spiritual successor to Empire Wars.
A spiritual successor to Empire Wars. An experiment on whether a nuanced economy and fast gameplay must be mutually exclusive. These are the sorts of questions that make me, as a game designer and lover of the RTS genre, really appreciate EMPIRECRAFT as a mod. And we haven't even touched upon half of the awesome features that this thing has to offer. Between balanced maps, neutral trade posts, wonder bonuses similar to what we see in Age of Mythology now, no direct unit upgrades whatsoever, possible new civilizations in the works, a heavily overhauled tech tree with many unique elements between different civilizations. I could talk about this thing all day, but nothing is going to trump actual experience in-game, so I cannot recommend enough that you go out and try to play it yourself. Thank you so much for watching this mod mini documentary. Let me know down in the comments if you'd like to see more of this sort of content. Thank you very much for your time and for sharing all this information with me.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's an honor and a privilege to be on your show, so greatly appreciate it.
Thanks, man.
And as always, my name is Robbie Howell, and ciao for now.